Hey guys, it's PvT-Mitten's here, and for once I'm actually on screen. I'm going to be doing my top 15 racing games of all time. And before we get started, I'm using the PlayStation 3 camera. That's why the quality is iffy. I mean, it's okay, but what do you expect for 9-year-old hardware? There's 5 runner-ups. They are runner-ups for no particular order, but the 15 games, obviously my pick. The rules are that it's one per franchise. Any franchise of racing goes, and yeah, it's my list. Without further ado, let's start with the runners-up. Juiced 1, I have the PC version. Juiced, I believe, is the closest we've gotten to a certain game later on the list that's perfect straight racing. There's a lot of cars in this game, a lot of customization and mods, very good roster of cars, and yeah, but it didn't make the top 15. Another game that didn't make the list, split second, Velocity, or as I like to call it, Michael Bay Velocity. Nah, it's a really good game. It's, if you have an Xbox, PlayStation 3, and PC, I believe got this, definitely worth picking up. It's got really good tracks, very fast, and yeah, it's all around a good game, but runner-up. A game that a lot of people have not heard of, the how to pronounce this? Motorstorm. I don't speak Italian. It's done by Capcom, as you can hit the way the fucking camera. I hit the way it does that. It's done by Capcom. It's cell shading graphics. You can see it's like the Initial D anime, but it's got a good car roster. I mean, it's all licensed vehicles. Graphics are really nice for, you know, one of the very early cell shading games that looked really nice. But yeah, runner up. Grid 2, another runner up. A lot of people prefer 1 over 2. I personally prefer 2 over 1. But, yeah, I actually got the platinum to this. But, Grid 2 looks great, plays great. Yes, the absence of cockpit view for the car is a bit, you know, shit. But it's a good game nonetheless. Good roster of cars, good tracks. Yeah, all around good game, but runner-up. The last runner-up, Formula 1 2007 Championship Edition. This was the Formula 1 games that Sony owned prior to Codemasters buying the series. If you like Codemasters Formula 1 games, buy this game if you own a PlayStation. It's better than the actual Codemasters games, despite it being almost a launch title for the PlayStation 3. Graphics are really good. The weather effects were great for their time, and the sound effects were downright amazing. But that's all the runner-ups. Now we'll move to the actual 15 games that I believe are the best in the genre anyway. Number 15, Driveclub. Yes, it had a shit launch, but with all the support that it got, all the DLC that it's got, it's one of the best racing games ever made in my opinion. I actually went platinum this game. I bought all the DLC to it. It's the best looking game in the racing genre. It's a mixture. It's like Grid. If it's anything, if you're wondering what kind of racing it is, it's like Grid. The weather effect's the best you'll ever see, or we've seen at the moment. Yeah. What can I really say? You've heard me talk about it in the past, but number 15. Number 14. Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. The reason I picked Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo as opposed to the others is probably nostalgia reasons, actually. I mean, you could argue Mario Kart 64, Mario Double Dash, Mario Kart Double Dash, keep around the Kart, and especially Mario Kart and the DS are probably better games, but this was the first Super Nintendo game I ever played. I went to a cousin's house, and they had this and they were playing it, and I would primarily PC before I played this game. Played it, Loved it. The only game that I played outside of a PC prior to this was my brother's Mega Drive, or Genesis as you Americans and Canadians would call it. And also Arkyd, which you'll see later on. That's number 14. Number 13 is going to piss Forza fans off. Forza 4. Why is it so low on the list? Well, there's a reason. Game looks fucking beautiful. Game plays really good. It's got the most content the Forza series has actually, seen. It's not the best racing game on the Xbox 360. And as a simulator, it's not really a simulator. Yes, you can take a lot of assists off, but you can do that with any Codemasters game. Does that make them simulators? No, it doesn't. But anyway, this game is phenomenal. My favorite in the series, of course. I played this on my Xbox 360. There's only 2 games on my 360 I've played more than this game, and we'll get to one of those later. And the other game that I played more than this on the 360, I think I clocked more time into Dead Rising than this. Dead Rising or Halo 3, I might have. One of the two. It's been a long time. But yeah. Number 12, I believe. Sonic's Sega's All-Star Racing. I got it mixed up with a second. Why did I put this above a Mario Kart game, you may ask? I remember the demo to this coming out, and me and Devil, we were supposed to play. I think it's at the time we were trying to platinum Modern Warfare 2, but the demo to this came out on the store, and we were like, alright, we'll check it out, we'll see. We turned around and says, let's see what Sega has, let's see Sega's poor man's Mario Kart this time. We played the demo and we just loved it to bits. We adored it completely. So, when the game came out, I got it. I love this game with passion so much. I actually went and platinumed this game. If anyone wants to play this, I don't know if the servers are still up. If anyone wants to play this, I'll play with you. I use Amy. She's my primary character because she's well-rounded. That's why I like using her. Yes, it's Mario Kart ripoff, but I actually like this. And the reason I picked this over the second is I honestly believe the second should not have added boats and aircraft. It should have just stayed karts. But, yeah. Number 12. Here's the fucking hope it's number 12. I don't want to fuck this up. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm really tired today. Number 11. Project Gotham Racing 4. This is the other Xbox game I was telling you about. This game came out in 2007. Came out before Forza 2. Not only does it look better than Forza 3, this has some of the best sounding engines in a game. Its graphics still look gorgeous. Gameplay's fantastic, and it's just a pity that Microsoft let this series go when Bizarre Creations was bought by Activision, and it's just a shame. This is my favorite racing game Xbox has ever pumped out for us. Probably my favorite racing game. Probably my favorite Microsoft game of all time, actually. And yeah, the reason I picked this over the fan favorite, which is 2 and 3, is I honestly believe this perfected the entire franchise. And yes, the addition of bikes were great. I mean, you saw no one bitching at Burnout Paradise adding bikes, but what can you do? Yeah. Now we're getting to number 10. I'm just looking at the fucking list because I don't want to get the numbers mixed up. Number 10. Burnout Takedown, or Burnout 3 Takedown as it's commonly known. Phenomenal soundtrack. Still looks good for the PS2 version. What can I say? It runs at a solid 60 frames. The game is just chaotic, which is great. The driving just feels great. It's probably the most arcadic game on this list. Yeah, I would say it probably is. Yeah, it added so much features that the series Burnout Paradise was missing, actually, which was the crash mode. I believe it wasn't in Paradise. The reason I picked this over Paradise, you may ask, you couldn't mute, or at least to my knowledge, you could not mute the DJs, they call them. in Paradise. At least you can mute it in this. But yeah, I don't like them. Fantastic game. Number 10. Number 9. This is going to cause controversy. Outrun 2 or Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Outrun 2 if you own the Xbox. The reason this is over 1 is because I honestly believe this is a better Outrun game. I believe you get 2 games on this actually. I think you get Outrun 2 and I think it's the PSP version you also get with this. Excuse me. You can also play with the PSP version, sorry. The graphics are gorgeous. The music is fantastic. It's typical Outrun, and even if you wanted to, you could actually play the original Outrun tracks in their original, 8-bit, 16-bit. But yeah, not a lot of people bought this, and we haven't seen an Outrun game since. This is the last Outrun game I ever saw, at least to my knowledge. But yeah, number 9. Number 8, Super Hang-On, or Hang-On as known as the arcade. I remember going to the arcade, well, a bowling alley actually, should I say, and they had arcade games. I remember seeing the bike, the famous bike with this game. I thought, alright, let's see what it's like. I fell in love with it. When my brother got his Mega Drive, I bought this with my own money. Why not? The music's fantastic. It's like Outrun. That's the best way of putting it. It's Outrun with bikes. It's got the better soundtrack than Outrun. I believe this predates Outrun. I could be wrong, but I think it does. Graphically, it's aged pretty well. There's also an HD remake on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, which was also very good. But yeah, I believe this is, yeah, it's the only bike game on this list. This is my 3rd favorite Sega, Mega Drive, Genesis, whichever console you want to call it. It's my 3rd favorite game on the actual system, so yeah. Almost fell. Number 7, Wipeout HD Fury. It's Wipeout with its DLC. Why did I pick this over the others? The graphics are phenomenal. They still look, it's still one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 3. The DLC was fantastic. The game ran solid 60 frames, no frame drop. The story was really hard. It's got one of the hardest platinum trophies to get out of all the games on the PlayStation. This game I still play to this day. Me and Devil actually stuck it on about a month ago, and we're having a good time with it. I mean, servers are still up for this game too. But yeah, the reason I picked this over the other Wipeouts is it's the one I played the most and had the most fun with. But yeah, please don't fall. Number 6. Now, this is a Codemasters rally game, and you're probably thinking, is it Dirt? Is it the new rally game, which I haven't played, sitting on the PlayStation 4? But no. It's Colin McRae's Rally 3. Why? I believe this is the best rallying the series has seen. The graphics for the PS2 were fantastic. The sound effects were great. The only gripe I actually have with this game, the tracks were also great as well. The only gripe I have with this game is you could not control the camera around the car. You could change view of the car, but that you could not really do. The actual damage effects in this game still look phenomenal. I mean, I was playing it prior to this video, and I was like, this looks just as good as Dirt's damage models. But yeah, if you have not played any of these Colin McRae, because it is done by Codemasters, if you haven't played any of these rally games, definitely play them. Number 5, we're getting to the top 5 now, and this is going to piss the Sony ponies off. Gran Turismo 3. Why did I choose this over 4 or 2? Because you can still pick this up and play it. The other ones, yes, this game was grindy as shit. The graphics of this are still phenomenal. The rallying in this game, rally's my favorite genre in racing, by the way. The rallying in this game was top notch as well. I mean, the soundtrack was great, and all around, it's the first game I ever owned on my PlayStation 2. This is my original copy that I got back in 2001. Which, yeah. Thing. What can I say? Everyone's played this game. It's the reason it's sold so fucking much. Now we're getting to the top 4. Next, this is going to piss a lot of Codemasters fans off. I love Codemasters, but this is going to piss them off. Sega Rally. Best rally game that's ever been made. And yes, I actually stand by that. It's graphically, it still holds up. You could actually, if you had if your friend had never seen this, you could actually you could pass this off as a digital only game, which Sega did do a couple of years later, which they butchered it. Has heaps of tracks, heaps of cars, licensed of course. It actually scored very good reviews with the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC magazines at the time. It didn't sell. Maybe it was Sega's fault, maybe, who knows, maybe it's because everyone was fucking into shooters. But yeah, best rally game I've ever played, even though it's arcadic. And the tracks, this came out in 2007, the year after Motorstorm 1. And yes, it copied Motorstorm 1's track deformation, but honestly I believe this does it better than the Motorstorm series. That's, yeah. I think that. Now we're getting to, Now we're getting to the top 3. Last PlayStation 3 game. Motorstorm Pacific Rift, or as it's commonly known, Motorstorm 2. It's the best PlayStation 3 racing game. Probably the best racing game Sony exclusively had. Graphics still hold up. Music's phenomenal. You got Slipknot, David Bowie, Megadeth, Pendulum. And anyone that's actually completed the story and got gold on each actual race and event, you know how fucking hard the ATV one is. The very last ATV race where you're on the I forgot what the track is or called, but it's one where you're on an ATV. The ATVs are the worst vehicle in this game. All vehicles are great, but the ATV is definitely the worst. Everyone uses ATVs. The difficulty's set to hard. That race took me fucking ages to get, and I got a gold trophy for just doing that race, and not because it was the last race I needed to do to get the gold. Got it. I'm so proud. Unfortunately, the servers are shut. I've talked about this game as well, so there's not much to talk about. If you own a PS3 and you don't own this, you're probably a Naughty Dog fanboy. Yeah. Number 2. People probably thinking this is going to be number 1. No, it's not. Need for Speed Underground. And the reason it's over Underground 2, I thought Underground 2 was a huge step back from this game. And the other game that you're probably thinking, which I do agree is a great game, which is Need for Speed Most Wanted, the 2005 version. I still think this is a better game. Very first time I booted this up and I heard that song, Get Low, I think it's called. That song's been stuck in my head ever since I bought this game. I still know the lyrics to that song. And I shouldn't. I don't even like that genre of music. You've got Static X, Rob Zombie. You've got, what do you call them? Oh, I forget what you call them. Oh, that's gonna piss me off. It's got one of the best it's got the best licensed soundtrack of any game, and I stand by that. The graphics they still look good. I mean, for a PS2 game that came out 2003, yep, 2003, it still looks good. And I'm glad the 2015 Need for Speed wasn't called Underground, because that game was shit, and it does not deserve to be in the same genre or even same title as this. But fantastic roster of cars, fantastic races, superb music, great graphics, second best racing game of all time. I remember actually buying this game. Me and Devil and heaps of other friends in school, we wouldn't tell each other what car we're gonna make. We'd go home, make these cars, bring our memory card around each other's, and we play with each other's cars, and we're like, why would you use that? And then they actually use the car, and they're like, I see why you use that car. But yeah, fantastic. What do you think number 1 is? Well, in my opinion, it's the greatest racer that's ever been made. And I honestly believe it's the greatest Nintendo game ever made. F-Zero X. It's got the best version of Mute City. It's got the best soundtrack in the entire franchise. Graphics were gorgeous when it came out. I played this game more than I did any other 64 game. More than Pokemon Stadium, Snap, GoldenEye, Turok, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Conker's, Banjo, Donkey Kong, any. This is one of my favorite games of all time. And the last one we ever got was GX, which also was a great game, but I prefer this one. Nintendo, why haven't you really... I bought my Wii just for F-Zero and Zelda's. I always buy home consoles of Nintendo for Zelda and F-Zero. Never got one. I bought my Wii U, hoping we'd get an F-Zero. Never got one. I'm not buying the NX until another one of these come out. But yeah, this game has so much nostalgic for me. I mean, even if you go past the whole nostalgic, this game puts most racing games to shame. In terms of speed, it gives Wipeout a run for its money. What can I say? The game is phenomenal. Even the narrator, which I don't like narrators much in racing games, he was cool. I liked, actually, his, chants and his taunts were, not his taunts, but his chanting and his actual, comments were great. But, yeah, that's my number 1. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and that was my very first list of favorite games that I've actually personally made. I know I did the Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty, but that was from best to worst kind of thing, so it wasn't really the same thing. But yeah, this has been PvT-Mitten's, and hope you guys enjoyed, and I'd like to see your video, because maybe there's a racing game out there that I haven't played that you believe should have been on the list. But yeah, thanks for watching, and take care.